Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Photography Tips and Tricks, your show for gear, tips, inspiration, anything really that you need to get your photography over to the next level. Now, my name is RC, and this week we have Zack Arias, we've got Bill Fortney, and it's here, right? I've been using this for a little bit, and I kind of wanted to go back and give you guys a little bit of feedback on what I thought of the bag, the Brixton bag from Ona. So there's a lot of information, right? Stick with me. We're going to start first with the incomparable Bill Fortney. Take a look at this.
Hey guys, welcome to Olympic National Park. I'm out shooting a Kelby video for a new class, but I'd like to give you a tip about shooting water to get slow exposures. We've got this beautiful Sole Duck River that we're photographing today. I've set the camera at ISO 100, shooting at f/22, and it's giving me a 5-second exposure. I'm using a white balance of shade because we've got a blue sky above, and there's really not much more to it than putting it on a tripod, using the self-timer, letting the 5 seconds pass, and there you go. Wonderful water shot out in the wilderness having fun. Well, that's how you do it. Thanks for joining me out here. If you'd like to learn more about my classes on Kelby Training, go to kelbytraining.com. or please visit me at my blog, billfortney.com, and we hope to see you down the road in another class.
Thanks so much, Bill. Now listen, if you like the kind of stuff that Bill does, as well as all of the stuff that we do here at Tips and Tricks, I am unabashed about telling you guys that this is the kind of stuff that we do over at Kelby Training. I want you to go take a look at kelbytraining.com. This is the sponsor of the show and the place for you to get the best education in photography 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, you want to see Bill's stuff? Just go to the instructor section. You'll see right there, Bill Fortney. You can watch all of the classes right there. Now, we have a tip from Mr. Zack Arias. Zack Arias is out there giving us some stuff on street photography, and he's going to have a couple of classes also on Kelby Training. This is a quick sample of that.
Hey, I'm Zack Arias, and I have a tip for you for street photography or any time that you're trying to take a candid photo of someone and that you don't really want them to know you're taking their picture. You know how a magician is going to be doing one thing with one hand and he's trying to get your attention over here, but he's doing something with the other hand. That's the trick. So part of my little trick on street photography or candid photography is if I'm photographing you, let's say you there at home watching me, and I walk up and I want to take your picture. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look above you. And I'm going to pull my camera up and point it over your head and act like I'm taking a picture. And what do we all do with digital cameras these days? We take a picture and we pull it down and we look at it, right? So what I'm going to do is put it up, and then as I bring it down, I'm actually composing the picture on the back of the screen, pointing at you. And I'm focused, and I'm looking at it, and then I look above, but I just took your picture. But my eye is up here. So I'll look at the camera again, and I'll look up, act like I'm taking a picture, pull it back down, focus, and take the shot. And people might look at you and go, is he taking my picture? But your eyes are over there. And pretty soon they'll just kind of forget you're there. That's my tip and trick. Check out the rest of my classes on kelbytraining.com.
Thanks so much, Zack. Now, remember, Zack's got a photography Q&A book out there that we're actually giving away as a prize. So stick around. You'll have the prize, you'll have my review on the Brixton Ona bag, and a landscape tip here on Photography Tips and Tricks.
Hi, I'm Mia McCormick. As a photographer, you've dedicated yourself to learning your gear and learning your art to make great images. You're excited about leveraging all of the tools the internet has to offer to share your work with the world. The problem is, there are people and companies out there who want to use your work, but they don't want to compensate you for it. Your best defense is to become well-versed in the world of copyright, especially when it comes to protecting your images online. Join me as I talk with two of the best minds in copyright for photographers, commercial photographer Jack Resnicki and New York intellectual properties attorney Ed Greenberg. Together, we tackle the subject of copyright from start to finish in front of a live studio audience. From a live demo of registering images to strategies on how to use social media to your benefit, artistically and financially. It's not as hard as it seems, and it's all right here at kelbytraining.com.
Welcome back, everybody, to Photography Tips and Tricks. RC here, and I have the Brixton bag from Ona. Now, this is something that we did last season, and we gave one away, and we were talking a little bit about it, but I kind of wanted to spend some time, playing with it, taking it out in the field, doing some work with it, and just talking a little bit about what I thought was interesting about it, and kind of explain to you what I have in the bag and, experiment with that. But one of the things that I thought was really interesting for me was that a lot of the times when I use bags based on utility, right? So it's always, what can I fit? How can I get it there? How can I be as inconspicuous as possible? But then I also like shooting in New York, right? So utility in New York kind of works, but I never really kind of considered style when I'm working with this stuff. And I think that there is some place to a lot of photography gear and a lot of photography cameras for style. So when I took a look at Ona, I was like, that's kind of neat. I was like, it's functional, it has utility, but it looks good. So I started playing around with this bag, the Brixton, and I took it out. Like, I played with it a little bit, but it was one of those things where I always felt very careful about it. I was like, okay, there's my Brixton bag. I want to make sure that I wore the right pants. I want to make sure that I wore the right shirt, because it does have a sense of style. And I think that that's one of the things that I enjoyed the most about it, was the fact that this is something that looks good right out of the bag. So this is wax canvas. It's accented with leather. I thought that was cool. They actually have an Italian leather one, which I absolutely adore. But let me not get ahead of myself. That was cool. But how functional is it? How useful is it, right? So you have this kind of dangling and you're moving around, and I like usually dragging my stuff back a little bit, right? Camera guy's going nuts. He's like, he's gonna move. No, it's fine, don't worry about it, I'm good. But I thought it was neat, right? It didn't call a lot of attention. It was a nice messenger bag. It looked really good, but was it functional? Well, let's just kind of go through it. The back of the pocket, right? Magazines, documents, boarding passes. That's pretty good for there. The sides of it, what kind of stuff am I keeping on the sides? Random tips. Gum, right? This is what I would use when I'm meeting clients or I'm going out and doing shoots, and guess what? I drink a lot of coffee. Coffee breath or gum breath. I'd probably prefer gum breath. On this side, business cards, right? So I'll keep business cards on that side. Now, from here, what other things do I keep? How much do I carry? Well, let's take a look. Trusty Dusty D700, right? Canon Rebel XTI, D200, D300. Nothing that's a little bit more extended than this. D3S isn't gonna fit, it makes it a little bulky. So D700 worked out great for me. That range right there, 3200, 5200, Rebel XTI. Fine. What does it have on it? 24-70. That's probably my mainstay lens. That's the lens that I do 85% of my work on. Now, from there, I have this lens right here, 70-300, right? I'd rather the 70-200 2.8, but I didn't want to overbulk and overweight it. This is pretty good for my long shooting. That's not too bad. So I'm covered my medium, I'm covered in my long. Something that I've been playing with recently, right? A tilt shift. So right now, this is a 24 tilt. We'll talk a little bit about how to be able to use a tilt shift lens in a later episode, but take a look. So far, 3 lenses. We're doing pretty good here. Now, what else do I have? I carry this with me all the time, which is kind of dumb, but it's from Element Case. It's an iPad stand, right? So I throw that in there because whenever I'm on the plane, I don't want to watch a movie and do stuff. So this thing, I usually use, it's a jewel stand, and what I'll do is I'll just kind of, this is one of the older ones, they have a new one now that you could screw in, but that is a great way for me to hold my iPad, and I kind of set it down. If I'm doing any kind of presentations, I need my iPad. This has an interior pocket right here where you can hold a 13-inch laptop. I don't own a 13-inch laptop, but I do own an iPad. So that goes right in there. And then usually I'll take this out, like if I'm doing a presentation or if I'm on a plane, I'll take this out and I'll just set this like that. So now it's in his one spot. Front, right? Memory cards, you need memory cards. Stylus. A lot of the times when I'm shooting, I need people to sign a model release. I have it all on the iPad, so I keep that there. Holo clip, right? For my iPhone. I do a lot of iPhone work. This. That's it. And bungee cords. Now, bungee cords is something that you wouldn't necessarily think of, but a lot of the times I tell people carry a couple of them with you, because what happens is you'll get to a location where you can't use a tripod. I was in Seattle. Beautiful restaurant, beautiful view outside. And as soon as I set up my tripod, they were like, no tripods, please. Can I set it on the ledge? Yes. Can I dangle it over the corner? Yes. But no tripods. So there I am precariously trying to dangle it on this railing. So out come the bungee cords. I bungee cord the camera to the edge of the railing and I make my shot. So I have a picture that I can show you on that. But that's pretty much it, right? Not bad. A lot of stuff that you can carry, right? I'm going to spread that out so you guys can see it all, inside of one bag. Now, ONA is actually running this like contest thing that they're doing where they want to be able to see what's in your bag. So if you want to see more of this, you want to see the bag that I really love, as well as this contest, go to the ONA Bags website. Take a look at that here. It's onabags.com. That center one. That's the one that I think looks really, really good. But if you go take a look at their blog has conversations about what's in your bag. So have an experiment, take a look, gander on the ONA bag. Really, really like it. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, I've got a landscape tip for you, the contest, and the website to watch. Stay tuned.
Hi, my name's Tim Wallace. I'm a commercial photographer. We're going to look at doing a class for shooting a motorbike. This particular bike is a Harley Davidson V-Rod. Now this is 100% customised bike. The chrome work on it, we want to use that chrome work, but obviously we've got the same sort of problems that we have when we shoot cars. It's a metallic object, it's multi-angled, multi-surfaced, reflective. So lighting it is a challenge, it's a good challenge. We've got a white infinity cove, but what we've actually done is built a completely different setup for the shoot that we're going to do. It's quite involved, it's complicated, but we're going to go step by step how we come to the vision of that shot and how we actually build a set to achieve it. I'm Tim Wallace. Come and check out my class on kelbytraining.com.
Welcome back, everybody, to Photography Tips and Tricks. RC here. Now, I've got a quick tip, or 3 tips actually, for landscape panoramas. Now, when you're working with a landscape, a lot of the times people are trying to do it handheld without a tripod, and what they'll do is do this. They'll swing on their waist, right? Rather than swing on your waist, what I would do is I would point your feet, like right now my feet are pointed towards you, right? I would point my feet this way. So by orienting your feet, take your first set of the panorama. Take your feet, now move your feet, now they're pointed this way. Click, click, click. Take your feet, point them this way. Click, click, click. By doing that, you're actually mimicking what you would do in a tripod, and what you'll notice that you'll get a lot less distortion on a panorama. They tend to get a little big on the sides and then bow down into the middle, creating like this little bow tie. You'll see less of that. The second thing that I would do is I would shoot this way, right? Shoot vertically. Shoot your panoramas this way, and what'll happen is when you do that, you'll get a lot more room for you to be able to manipulate. The last thing is this. When you shoot these pictures, let's go ahead and go to the picture section. Include your finger, right? It sounds dumb, but what's gonna happen is this. You're gonna be shooting a lot of pictures, right? A lot of panoramics. You're gonna make them back and forth and back and forth. You import that into Lightroom, you import that into Bridge, you're gonna be like, which is the start and which is the end of the panorama? By including your finger in the shot, you know, this is the start of the panorama, it's got a number 1, then start shooting the pano. Keep shooting the pano until you get to the very end. When you're done shooting that pano, then just put in another finger with the number 2. Now when you see that in Bridge or in Lightroom, anytime that you see a 1 and a 2, all of the images that are in between are the ones that you use for a panorama. So it's a quick way for you to kind of get around the entire concept of what's the start, what's the finish, by just shooting your fingers. Now, contest time. take a look at this. We'll go over here. I want you to go to the Kelby TV site. At the Kelby TV site, I want you to go to Photography Tips and Tricks. Inside of here, I want you to find our most current show, right? This is episode 30, so you're gonna be looking for episode 31. Go to episode 31, go all the way down to the bottom. Leave us a name, leave us an email, leave us a website, tell us a comment, tell us something you like about the show, tell us something you want to see. It's your show. So one of you guys is going to win 10 Essential Studio Techniques Every Photographer Needs to Know by Scott Kelby, as well as the brand new book, Photography Q&A by Zack Arias. It's a frank conversation about the business and the art and passion of photography. Make sure you take a look at both of these. Now, the website to watch, obviously it's going to be July 4th. I want you to take a look at this. Go over here, go to the Joe McNally website, joemcnally.com. In his blog, he's got a section where he shows us a very different Joe McNally right here, as well as some great shots. This is actually the Grucci family in New York, their fireworks. And down here, there's a section where he gives you a bunch of tips on how to be able to shoot fireworks. So I thought that was great that not only do you get a little bit of a backstory, as well, you also get some great education. But that's it. That's pretty much everything for this week. Make sure you tune in next week here on Photography Tips and Tricks.